Hello, our viewers. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. It's such a bright afternoon here in Uganda. Welcome to the Uganda Parliamentary Coffee Forum. And today in studio, I'll be Emmanuel Biaruhanga, your host. And with me, today we are shifting the spotlight. We are hosting a young gentleman that paints the future of coffee in Uganda. We want to know more. How do the young people feel about this sector, and how well are they preparing themselves to see that they contribute to the value addition in this sector? With me, join me, and let's welcome Abaho. Abaho, would you please introduce yourself and then greet our viewers?
Our esteemed viewers, I'm by names of Alvin Abaho Bahiji. I turn espresso into art and bad days into good days. That's all for now.
Well, thank you so much. So Abaho, tell me, how was life growing up? Like, try to take us through when you were young. What are the things that you loved? What inspired what you do?
Back then when I was a child, we used to grow coffee, like coffee in the plantation, or that to get money for school fees and all that, and I was able to study and complete my ordinary level. And during the ordinary level vacation, or the senior 4 vac, I had a friend who happened to join the field. And as an artist, when he would make a beautiful cup of latte art, I looked at it and I was inspired. I became curious and I was like, how do they do that? So I kept getting the interest. I wanted to know more about how they make that art. First, I thought maybe they use like a pencil, draw the things there, but then I was pushed to find out more about how they make that art, and that's how I joined the industry after completing my senior 6. And I took a short course, which is the baristing course, and currently I've finished it. So now I found out how they make that beautiful latte art.
Interesting. You did say something about how coffee has been a serious livelihood to your family, that it contributed to your tuition in school and the general well-being of the whole family.
Yes.
Could you tell us what used to happen? How many acres of coffee did your dad own, and how did they sell? To whom did they sell? And how did you used to see it then as you were growing up?
Yeah. So about the amount of coffee that we grow, that one I cannot be specific, because it's not like I know each and everything, but we have some very, very many acres of coffee. So that's where I used to get tuition. And then back then when they used to sell coffee, I used to see money. So when I was young, I was like, so if there is money in coffee, then if I grow up, maybe I should also deal in coffee. And there were, at that time, there were very, very few coffee factories within our area. So there is a place called Ishaka. So they used to get the coffee, take it to Ishaka, and then come back with the money. And then as time went by, people brought the services nearer to us, and I think the coffee factory or the machine is like a few meters away from our home currently.
What type of coffee was that was being grown? Was it Robusta?
Yes, it is Robusta, the Ugandan coffee.
Okay, all right, amazing. And you did speak about that whole process of a factory being set up just nearby your home.
Yes.
Before, what were the challenges that coffee farmers faced within that time?
So one of the biggest challenges was the transportation, because the factories were in a place that was far away from the gardens. And then back then, the roads were not yet that good. So you can see the poor roads and then the distance. So those were the biggest challenges. And then, but for the problem of market, that one like was not like a big deal, because all the coffee was going to Ishaka.
As family members growing up, what were your different roles in handling of the coffee or preparing gardens or taking care of the vines? How was it? Take us through it.
That experience was back then when we were children. It used to be very tiresome, because you know you have to go there, you have to weed, because you don't have to let the weeds go into the coffee. Then there is a time of mulching, and you had to go to the swamp. They had to like chop the grass, then you have to carry the grass, take it to the coffee. And then like it back then it was not good. Like to us, we didn't feel good, because we didn't want to do like it. It's very 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 tiresome, because you'd find that you would work from morning, then go home for lunch, then go back, because you have to work, because you need money. So back then, it was, when we were children, it wasn't good. But then as we grew up, like it created like beautiful memories, because like a lot happened, and it's what has shaped us like to where we are.
At some point, while you were still in school, didn't your friends ever make fun of you that you were maybe say a coffee farmer or things like that? Or then it was like a new normal? They really felt like, yeah, you were coming from a rich family producing coffee. How was it?
Making fun of a coffee farmer, I don't think that that even crossed their minds, because if you're a coffee farmer, who would make fun of you? No one can make fun of you. In fact, they would be respecting you.
Wow.
Like, yeah, the rich man has come. Yeah.
Which district are you from? Because some of those districts from Western Uganda are well known for cattle keeping. So people would want to know, our viewers would want to know more about where exactly you're from, and yeah, basically what are the main economic activities that are done in that place.
I originate from the land of milk and honey, which is Mitoma district.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and in this constituency of the deputy speaker. Yeah, that's where I originate. Main economic activities taking place. It is basically it's agriculture. That is like the leading economic activity, and the other economic activities come like the trading, what. But the backbone of the district is agriculture.
Well, you didn't specify well in terms of is it cattle rearing that comes top, and then coffee, or then maybe banana farming? Which crop takes the lion's share?
It's actually banana growing that takes the biggest share. Then comes coffee. Cattle rearing is not like much, because the biggest percentage of the people in that district are Bachiga. So you know the Bachiga, and like going to the garden, it's like something that is part of them. Yeah, not going to the cattle, what. Yeah.
So fast forward, when you got to secondary school, you know, as someone that is growing up, you tend to have some interest in particular subjects. Was agriculture one of those that you embraced then, or because you went through a lot of, you were providing a lot of labor in terms of supporting the family in taking care of the coffee?
Honestly, agriculture was never part of my interests. I remember it was in senior one when they gave us, we used to call it chopping. I remember agriculture was stroked with fine art. And me and fine art, we are one. So I could not forego art because of agriculture. And then that labor thing, at that time it wasn't even like crossing my mind. Agriculture, like why would I go for agriculture? I already do the agriculture at home, so why would I go ahead and study agriculture? Why don't I go for something I know I can do better?
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Wow. So, how then does does the love for coffee start to come in later that you are done with Form 6? How does it start up?
When I was done with Form 6, I first went back in the village, did some work, and then still the same friend, like I told you, posted the latte art. And then I remembered, like I had interest in this thing. I wanted to find out. So now I started doing my research. And then like we had a classmate who has a brother in the field. So the brother in the field, I contacted that classmate, so talked to the brother. So the brother was like, I can find you an academy where you can go and train, then learn how to do that stuff. I actually used to go with him like on gigs, like after coming this side. So I went with him on gigs, saw how he did that stuff. So as I was learning this side in the academy, I was also gaining experience. So the love kept on increasing, that I even went beyond coffee and wanted to find out what else can I do instead of coffee only. So, and that's how I even like that's how I got the love for coffee. And then I even got to learn very many other things that are associated with the baristing industry.
There are quite a number of professions in Uganda a young man like you would really want to be drawn to. I'm wondering how then you would completely decide to say that, you know what, for the rest of my life I want to be known as a barrister. How was that decision, and didn't you ever have any influences from your other colleagues that were doctors or that were studying courses related with engineering?
Now, when it comes to choosing the baristing course, it is passion that I wanted to find out. And then let me have something that can earn me side income. Because if you look at this economy, you cannot only depend on your salary. So I wanted something that is going to be earning me, let's say, side income. And it's not like I'm going to be a barista for the anyway, I'm going to be a barista for the rest of my life, because once I'm a barista forever.
Right.
And then after that, I'm going to pursue like a course in architecture, because still I'm still following my passion in art. So I have passion in very many things. So I may even wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to do engineering. So choosing the baristing course was because of the passion and the need. It was like the need to help me earn a side income while at campus, or even in the future, such that I'm able to like be financially stable, not only depending on one thing.
Wow, interesting. So you did speak about acquiring these barista skills. Now, have you been able to translate some of these barista skills to the home where you are, maybe with your parents, that you're able once in a while to make them a nice cup of coffee, or maybe help out in doing something? How has the whole experience been like?
It has been a very good one and has taught me a lot of things. So, and as a barista, if you're dealing in coffee, if you're brewing coffee, why can't you have an equipment at home? Why can't you make a nice cup of coffee at home? Why can't you educate the people at home about coffee? Why can't you convince them to take coffee? Because when you look at the coffee industry, a country like Uganda, it largely contributes to the world coffee. Like 30% of world's coffee is Robusta, and which is from Uganda. So, and when you look at the consumption of the coffee in Uganda, the coffee Ugandans are consuming, they are not consuming the actual coffee. They are consuming actual coffee from Uganda, but then like not processed in Uganda, because people are going to come from, they are going to export the coffee maybe to Egypt, and people are going to get the coffee from Egypt, process it, brand it Nescafe, add some other things, not specifically Nescafe, brand it some other things, then bring it back, and then they sell it expensively. So why don't we change that? Why don't I promote the coffee first with my household, like at home, then I come and spread it to the other Ugandans, increase the consumption of coffee, then, and also remove the misconceptions that people have.
Wow, interesting. I love your school of thought that it's important for you as a barista that has acquired a skill to go out there, not only just take it into your family setting, but rather go out to the community to sensitize people on the benefits of coffee and the reasons as to why they indeed need to add value by thinking about taking it in a very good form in a cup of, say, maybe espresso or things like that. Yeah.
Latte, all that.
Exactly. So there has been something that I don't know whether you've heard about it, but I've had it in the corridors, especially amongst the Gen Alphas. Some of those that are rushing to take on the decision to travel abroad are acquiring this as a skill, because I've heard that it pays about 2.5 million Ugandan shillings abroad. So aren't you getting the temptation of also being the next victim of a young Ugandan that will leave us here?
That thought has not crossed my mind, because why would you live like, if it means if you're leaving the country to go abroad, which means my dream of increasing the consumption of coffee within Uganda is going to die. Because if I go abroad, how am I going to promote coffee in Uganda? Like, I've gone abroad, so now I'm earning from abroad, yet I could even earn from this side, because there are very many opportunities that you can earn, even more than that 2 point something million that they are earning abroad. And with a skill, you don't even need like to be employed under someone for a long time, because I think after a very short time you can even start up your own thing, expand it slowly by slowly as you continue like increasing the consumption of coffee. So, and that would be very good to people, because you're getting the market, you're increasing the level of consumption, and then like you're solving this problem. They call it brain drain, because when you gain the skill and take it outside, it's like you're over, I don't know how I can term it, but like you're taking resources from your own country to benefit another country. It is the other people are benefiting, for you you're benefiting less, because when you look at the other side, the high costs of living, you're going to be earning 2 point something a month, but then after the costs, you're going to be earning something like 800. But when you're in Uganda, you're earning something like 800. Let's say rent, what. You find that you're at the same level with someone who is abroad, just that you're in different places. But so that thing of going abroad, I don't think it would be a very good idea. We rather exploit what we have and then use it to get what we want, instead of exporting our skills.
Wow. Talking about that, Uganda recently has become the #1 coffee exporter in Africa, which really sends huge, huge conversation that people need to talk about. Then recently, we just heard that Uganda has started to produce soluble coffee, just like Nescafe. We have a company actually that is Ugandan owned. I think it's in Tungamo. Yes, they recently launched their first products of that soluble coffee that's more like Nescafe. What's your take on that?
That is a very good move, and like bringing it closer, it would help us even like increase the level of consumption. But then how we are going to increase this level of consumption is how are we going to like take away the misconceptions that people have. Take for instance, there is this misconception that coffee makes women dry. So that's the excuse I've been hearing why women don't take coffee. But then when you look into it from biology, they'll tell you coffee has no effect on hormones. Like it doesn't change hormones. All that coffee does, coffee has caffeine. So all it will do is going to like caffeine is going to be like fuel. So that's why it is even advisable not to take coffee at night. So the misconception of coffee making women dry should be cleared. There are other issues that can make women dry. So things like blaming coffee should not come to that. And even if they were saying that there are different coffee beverages, if you're saying coffee makes you dry, then why don't you take a lighter version of coffee? And then another thing, people have not been educated about the different coffee beverages, because you'll be serving someone coffee and someone is going to come and be like, I want coffee with milk. So all they know, coffee with milk, coffee with milk. So if you make that person African coffee, or if you make them a latte or a cappuccino, someone won't be able to tell the difference because they have not yet been educated about the coffee. So much as they have brought that factor that like grinds the coffee more soluble like Nescafe, then they should also, I think now it's our role. Now we now have like backing. We have backing. We have where to start from to also like educate the people about the coffee and increase the level of coffee consumption in our country.
Wow. So still back on recently, you just told us that you recently embarked on a decision to join a barista school, which is Black Drops
Yes,
Coffee Company.
Yes.
Yes, I would want to know more. What informed your decision on choosing this particular school, and how have you found it so far?
Choosing this school, like it was because of that friend that I told you, a brother to one of my classmates, because I was really admiring his work. And then not only me, but then like other people, I was looking at, take for instance, the likes of my uncles, those people, someone makes them a drink and they're like, wow. So, and even if you ask them, that would be the very first person they would tell you about. And then when that whole thing of like him being the first choice if anything comes about coffee, that's what made me go into the school where he went, because I think I can also be like him or even better than him. So that's why I chose that specific school. And even after reaching the school, I really got more interested, more than I was interested before, because the way they teach is kind of different. It's not about going to the machine, steaming, doing the art. They are going to teach you a lot of things. They're going to teach you skills like management, and very many other things. What would you do if this happened on a station? What would you do? Not some other academies where you find they are business oriented. Someone is going to take your tuition, like after taking your tuition, they just tell you do what you want, or they are just looking at you finishing and going away. But the difference with our academy is that they even give you a chance. They even give you an extension. And the extension is always on the cost of the company, not on the cost of your tuition. Even if your tuition is done, you always have a chance to extend and expand and also get more knowledge. And then they also give you that station experience. It's not like an academy experience. So they will teach you how to handle customers, how do you talk to the boss, so a lot of things. So when you have pursued your course at that academy, I'm very sure you're very different from the rest of the baristas in the country,
Well,
because you're being trained by one of the best baristas in the country.
Talking about that kind of experience that comes with Black Drops Coffee School, I would want to know more. What sort of experience do they bring on the table? Yes, you have talked so nicely about them, but I would want to know more. What are some of maybe the different companies or organizations they have worked with, or maybe hotels they have worked with, and what really makes them stand out? Have they won some awards?
Do you know the African Fine Coffees Association?
I've heard about
You have
it,
heard about
yes.
it. I think it's the leading exporter of coffee within Africa. So that's one of the companies that was recently launching like a conference. Like it's going to be at Common Speak Resort, like next year.
Yes.
So the launch I think was yesterday, but one, and it was Black Drops Coffee Company that was the very first choice to serve the people coffee, teach the people about coffee. So you can see if one of the best, if the best, actually the best organization in exporting coffee has given Black Drops Coffee Company a chance to come and prepare something for them. These are the people that know coffee from right from the garden to the actually from the garden to the cup. So they know what they are doing. So by the time they choose Black Drops Coffee Company, that shows you it's outstanding.
As a young, passionate coffee lover or barista, I would want to know what are some of those challenges that are faced by young people that love coffee or that would want to engage in the ecosystem of the coffee business.
Of the coffee business.
Yes.
Now that depends on where you want to go. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the baristing side. Because if I was to talk about the other sides, then we'd spend the whole day here. So when we come to the baristic side, the challenge is when you're planning to join the baristing industry, one of the things you have to do is master your emotions. That's rule number one, because it is under the hospitality industry. Someone is going to come with their problems, someone is going to come with their stress, and they'll vent out all the anger on you. Your boss is going to have something, maybe some issues at home with the spouse at night or something. All the anger is going to be on you. When someone has come with stress, like from work, it's you who is supposed to relieve them of the stress. So when you don't master your emotions, then you fail in that industry, because when someone vents their anger on you, you would be like, you would easily react. But as a barrister, you're supposed to master your emotions, and that's why you find in the baristing industry there are more men than women. Do you know why?
I know.
Now, if you look at a woman, you can easily tell this woman is in her periods. But maybe let's say a man has debts, has loans and what, you cannot tell, because men are good at that. They do not show. Yeah. So you see, if you can easily look at a woman and tell this one is in her periods, and you cannot tell like a man is in like has problems and what, a man will always show you he's fine. So that's why they say, that's why in the baristing industry we need to operate on something called logic, not emotion. So that's why you find more men. And then another challenge is people who are business oriented. When you come to this coffee business, specifically a coffee shop, if you're preparing beverages, it is a different sort of business. This is a business where we are not only, people have this misconception of business is about making profits. It's not about making profits. It's all about keeping a customer. So how do you keep the customer? So we're having that challenge of communication. If I came and bought a pen from you, would you give me reason to come back and buy another pen? So when you're in this baristing business, you're supposed to be knowing something like communication. You're not supposed to sell coffee to the customer. You're supposed to sell a story. So you're supposed to give the reason. You're supposed to give the customer a reason to come back. So you're supposed to keep the customer, and then as you keep the customer is going to bring more friends, and that more friends to come and take coffee, more people. So when the people increase, which means our main aim of promoting coffee consumption at the local level has improved, and which is one of our aims. So far, those are the major challenges. The other challenges are similar to the other challenges in different employment sectors, like different.
What would you have to say about the price of some of the equipment you use? Because I'm just imagining I'm a young barista, just gotten done with my course, and yes, I'm just really fresh out of skill, and I want to begin selling maybe different cups of coffee to different people out there. What do you talk about the prices for those equipment? Yeah, is it really manageable, and what is the cost like for someone that would want to make money as a young barista after that course?
About the prices are manageable for the different equipment, because let's say you are a young barista, you want to start maybe like a mobile cart. So when you want to start like a mobile cart, I don't think you should go for a machine that is supposed to run a station. Like,
Okay.
you're supposed to, okay, there are different machines, and it's not specific, it should not you're not specifically supposed to serve you should not specifically aim at serving the coffees that are served on a station. You can start small, look at because not all the coffees we prepare need the espresso machine, because there are very many other equipments. There are very many methods of producing the coffee. We have things like V60s, siphons, chemical. So the different equipments, they brew different kinds of coffee. So, and also this brewing black coffee, that is, I don't think that is something that would require you to first get a machine. You can brew it. There are like affordable machines for you to help you brew black coffee. And actually, that would be a very good idea if you're only like serving black coffee, because it's like majorly it's what Ugandans are consuming nowadays. Because I think maybe because they used to take tea, and that would be easy for them because of the water. Yeah, and that one of the milk, it's rare. They normally take African coffee, and you also don't need a very expensive machine to make African coffee. So the machines, the prices of the machines are very affordable. Only like they are not affordable only if you want to go for the other big ones that are supposed to run a station. So it requires patience. You're supposed to be patient. You're not supposed to rush.
Well, our viewers out there, thank you for continuing to join us in this very wonderful podcast session that I'm having with my brother Abaho here. And I would want to ask you to please keep on subscribing to the Uganda Parliamentary Coffee Forum. Please share with others. Let people get to know more about this gist of the coffee industry in Uganda. We need to take it to a whole other level. We need to see to it that we continue to promote value addition onto our coffee. And as I get back to our guests tonight, I would like to ask you something that really tends to confuse some of our viewers out there. Someone told me to ask you this. You know, there are different types of coffee. Some just hear espresso, latte, and all these other different variations. Well, for me, I'm that guy that loves African coffee. So some of our viewers out there would want to know, what are these different other kinds of or types of coffees People would want to know more. So would you go ahead and try to expound for us that we get to know them in detail?
The different kinds of coffee. I think I'm mainly going to talk about the espresso-based beverages, the coffee beverages, because most of the coffees are espresso-based. So when you come to espresso, this is like coffee that has been extracted under high pressure and very little hot water has been like passed through it. And actually, when you're brewing coffee, you don't boil coffee, you brew coffee. So when you come to this coffee thing, you find that water that is used to brew coffee is not supposed to boil. It's not supposed to reach 100 degrees, just like water. So if it reaches 100 degrees, that is, you're not brewing coffee, you're scorching the coffee. So these machines we use at the station, they are, when they are being manufactured, their temperature is always set. And that also comes with the roast profiles. Like, there is light roast, medium roast, dark roast. So those different kinds of roast profiles, different temperatures are going to be used to brew the different kinds of coffee. So you won't use the same temperature for a light roast and the same temperature for a dark roast. So espresso, that is very, very, it's always in a small cup, like that tiny cup. And actually, I've seen people complain. Someone goes to a restaurant, looks at the menu, espresso, something like 8,000, and just buys it because it's cheap. After it has been presented, someone is going to complain, and that is very, very, very strong. It's very strong. So why it is called espresso? It was born in Milan for people who had no time. So from express, so Milan. So all the other coffee beverages, they are espresso based. So from espresso, I'll take you to black coffee. What is black coffee? So when I have my espresso, I'm going to add hot water to the espresso, and I get my black coffee. Then from black coffee, I will take you something called Americano. In our language, you say Americano is espresso that has learned manners. So, that Americano, it was like for the American soldiers, they asked for coffee and they were given espresso. So they were complaining it's too strong. So Americano, it's actually, there is a confusion between Americano and black coffee. But when you taste, they taste different. Just that black coffee, you put the espresso first in the cup, then you add hot water on top of the espresso. Then when it comes to Americano, you put the hot water first, and then you add the espresso. You extract espresso on top of the hot water. And then when you come to latte, cappuccino, flat white, now those are the milk-based, espresso milk beverages. A cappuccino, a latte, a flat white. So they always have that art. But if you're not keen, you cannot tell the difference. When you come to a cappuccino, it's going to be milk foam, because the milk is steamed. It's not boiled. The milk is steamed. You create a layer of foam. So that foam is the one that is going to help us create the latte art. So it's always equal amounts of foam, equal amounts of milk, and an equal amount of espresso. That is your cappuccino. And if you order for a cappuccino, you should be able to observe that when you touch the cup, it's not always hot, a cappuccino. It's always about 55 degrees Celsius. Then when you come to a latte, now that one is always hot. And when you look at the foam of a latte, it's always thinner compared to one of a cappuccino.
So the foam is always thinner.
Yes, so which means we have espresso, we have lots of milk, and then we have like a thin foam, milk foam. So it's the foam that is going to help us create the art. Then when you go to African coffee, that is going to be, we are going to boil the milk and we put espresso. So a latte, a cappuccino, the milk is steamed, and then we come to a flat white, where it even has thinner form. So it is espresso, milk, and very thin form. And a flat white is always like they're always served in small glasses. So there are very many. We have also a cortado, like we have a cortado. We are going to have espresso, and then we have like very little milk and very little milk form. Then we also have a macchiato where we're going to extract our espresso in its small cup.
Wow.
Then we steam our milk, and after steaming the milk, we shall just get a small spoon, pick some little foam, and put for you. We just like decorate the espresso. Then we also have a mocha. A mocha is
At least I've seen that also on menus.
yes, a mocha. So a mocha
Yeah.
is it is almost like a cappuccino. The difference is in the espresso. After extracting, we add chocolate. Yeah. So those are the basic coffee beverages. But then when you go to different restaurants, you're going to even find they have twisted a little bit. Let's say they add their own recipe. So in this industry, you're supposed to even create your own. Be like, when I add this, it's going to make me that. So, and then we also have the iced version of those drinks, the beverages. So if I have a cappuccino, a latte, americano, I have there is also an iced version. The people who like cold things. So we have the same ingredients, but the only thing we add is ice. And then what changes is that the iced version is always served in glasses, whether it's a cappuccino, what most of the iced versions are always served in glasses. And when we come to the other ones, some are served in glasses, some are served in cups. Yeah.
Well, wow. You seem to have learned so much in such a very short time, because you told me you embarked on this course in at the beginning of February, right?
No, I think it was at the beginning of March, because
Beginning of March.
Yes.
Wow. So how does someone get to join this school that you have been able to learn from all this?
Joining the school.
Yes.
That's very easy.
What does it take for someone to join? What are the requirements, and where is it found?
We are located in Kamocha. If you know where the old Noop offices were, just right there. When you reach there, you won't get lost. We will be there to pick you. Actually, I myself will be there to pick you. And then requirements, that is, we come to an understanding, because we have a variety of courses. Someone is going to come, I want to do mixology. So someone wants to do only coffee, let's say mixing the different coffee beverages, we have that course. And there is someone who wants to do coffee, do juices, smoothies, milkshakes, lemonades, all that. That is a course on its own. Then we also have a mixology, but that one is for like a bartender. That one of mixing cocktails, the Long Islands, the Manhattans, Cosmopolitans. We also have a course for that. Then we also have a course for those who are interested in roasting the coffee. You get the coffee beans, then you roast, and they are ready for sale. Yeah.
Well, you spoke something about roasting. Yeah, the coffee beans.
Yes.
One, do you also teach about the selection of good coffee beans? And then do you also get to advise on, say for example, I would want to come up with my own custom taste, or maybe you could choose maybe some beans of maybe Robusta and then mix in with this type or something like that?
Yes, picking the good coffee. That's one of the things that makes our academy stand out. Because when you reach there, The very first thing you do, actually, in my experience, I remember my very first time there. I went there like before I had lunch. There is a process we call cupping, my friend. That is when you do it for the first time, you like you're going to feel dizzy because you are, we call it cupping. There we are like evaluating the different characteristics of the coffee. So we get the coffee, the roasted coffee. We know the roast profiles. So it's a process. I'm going to get my coffee, grind it, and when we are grinding, we use different grind sizes. Yeah. So I grind the coffee. I After grinding it, I'm going to put it in a cupping bowl. So when I put it in a cupping bowl, one of the things I'm going to evaluate first is the aroma, the dry aroma. When I get my cupping bowl with my ground coffee and I smell in the coffee, what do I feel? What are the flavors? When you look at packaged coffee, if someone is selling you coffee and someone knows coffee, you find it's flavored, maybe it's hazelnut or, okay, they have different flavors. You're going to find coffee that is smelling like dust. You're going to find coffee that is smelling like an orange. So that is the process where we evaluate. So you get the coffee, what do you feel? The dry aroma, what do you feel? You put it there. So after that, you're going to add water to the coffee. After adding water to the coffee, you're going to now feel the wet aroma. When I add water, what do I feel? What do I smell? So when you evaluate the different characteristics, after that, the smell, you're going to get different flavors. That's you're characterizing your coffee. After that, you're going to taste your coffee, find out the taste. So when you find out the taste, some coffee is going to be sour, some coffee is going to taste like tomatoes, some coffee is going, so you are going to have a variety of tastes. And actually, when we are evaluating the characteristics, when someone is going to tell you this is a specialty, that's why when you come to the prices of coffee, you find there is coffee of 50,000, there is coffee over 100,000. Why do you think that happens? Because when you cup the coffee, to find out this is a specialty coffee, we have commercial, different. So when I cup my coffee, there are defects I'm going to get. So when the defects, I'm going to get defects, and I'm also going to find out the good things about it. So if it is a specialty coffee, it's not supposed, like the defects, we have primary defects, secondary defects. So those are like what happened to the coffee, what made it go bad. So we have coffee that has been damaged by insects. So if coffee has been damaged by insects, I'm going to tell from the cupping process. If coffee was mistreated in the garden, let's say,
Harvested early.
Harvested early, that is underripe, and then there is that coffee, it's going to ripen, and someone delays to harvest it, and it ripens on the tree. I'm going to tell from the cup. And then if someone has harvested coffee and then maybe the storage, and maybe it has been affected by molds, I'm going to tell from the cup. So when I'm evaluating the characteristics of the coffee, I have a cupping sheet. So the cupping sheet is going to have different areas. So if I have sample A of coffee, I'm going to be taking what is here, what is here. There I can say this is a specialty coffee, this is commercial coffee. So that's why when you go to the market, you find you have quality controllers. And actually, if you have a barista who hasn't undergone the cupping process, trust me, people are going to hate coffee at your station. Because someone cannot evaluate the characteristics of the coffee. If someone comes and asks about the coffee, if it is bad coffee, if the barista cannot tell that this is bad coffee, then the customers are not going to come back. So you need to go through that process. And that process, we do it, I think, for about a week or even 2. So you get to understand. And actually, after understanding, you even get to enjoy it more. And you can actually, even before you finish the course, you see that you already have like a job. You can become a quality controller. You can go to these farms, to the gardeners, teach them how do they take care of their coffee. So, and we actually have this problem of, you know, the Robusta coffee is something like, I don't know how to term it. People don't care a lot about it. Like, they don't give it time like the way people do for Arabica coffee. That's why, like, you find if that's why you find many people grow Robusta coffee than Arabica coffee, because Robusta coffee doesn't like require much time, but Robusta coffee is going to like require time. It's demanding. You have to do a lot. That's why you find that Robusta is like grown on a very, very, very high scale.
You spoke so much about the ability to smell.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm quite afraid. There are my brothers that are out there that don't have, not like, for example, let me give an example. There are times whereby I've gone to a place, I've eaten food, but at times it's because I'm hungry, I just want to eat. So people will ask me, how did it taste? So I'm wondering, there are people who are not so sensitive to that smelling aspect. What do they have to do? Do you have any practice you teach them that then they are able to understand or comprehend those smells and know, okay, this smells like this smells like that?
So you spoke of something like you went to a restaurant to eat, just you are hungry. When you're drinking coffee, you're not taking coffee like to get satisfied. You're taking coffee like to appreciate. And I also have a problem with people who order for coffee and then want to add sugar. Why? You should be taking coffee like in its natural form. Actually, when you add sugar, you have like, should I say, killed the coffee. Because when it's in its raw form, you can get to evaluate. Because actually, when you're taking when you come to our academy, if people are brewing coffee, trust me, whether you have allergies or what, the aroma is going to welcome you. So you can see that much as you have allergies and you want to like increase your whatever senses of
Smelling, yeah.
So you see, coffee is something that is very strong. So it itself is going to like the aroma. Only the aroma is enough to help you like tell this coffee smells like, yeah, it actually like it has a nice aroma. So when you keep on doing coffee, if it becomes part of you, when you're not taking coffee to get satisfied, you'll be able to tell this is good coffee and this is bad coffee. And actually there are some people who would take a cup and be like, this is Robusta coffee or Arabica coffee. Someone who has taken coffee for a long time, you can easily tell.
What advice would you have for those that would want to create their own, say, recipe in terms of coffee? Like, I would want to come up with my own product and then have it somewhere in some shelf in some big supermarket. What are some of those things to look out for if they are to create a very nice recipe that is not very expensive, but yet someone can be able to afford it, say, at about 15,000 shillings a packet?
Yes, we have affordable coffee. Because I do not need to create a recipe for people to afford coffee. Because if, let's say, you're creating, what is the main aim of creating a recipe? Because the coffee is already there. It already has its flavors. So if you're saying the coffee is about 50,000 kilograms, why not go for a quarter? And actually, I don't think 50,000 is something a lot.
For very good coffee.
Yeah, because the price of anything is what he or someone is willing to pay for it. So if I get 50,000 from my pocket, I buy coffee because I need the coffee to help me keep active during the day, to fuel me up. am I doing a disservice like
No.
to myself? So I think if this issue of saying coffee is expensive, if a kilogram is expensive, then go for half a kilogram.
I
Because
see.
yeah, I don't think the question of having to create a recipe, having to do what, that is actually you don't need to add anything to coffee, because there you're killing like it's value. The only thing where you would have to create your own recipe, it is something like now that goes to the bar area where we have cocktails. So if I know I'm having let's say uh, okay, a specific cocktail, they have different names. Let's say Manhattan, Cosmopolitan. So the different names were like, those are the classic names. So if I want to make my own recipe, I just make a twist
Yeah.
of that. If
Okay.
if the Cosmopolitan has such and such ingredients, maybe I can add something to the Cosmopolitan and then call it, name it after me. That's so the bar area, that's where you can make your own recipe. And also on the coffee side, that comes to the juices, the smoothies, the milkshakes. That's where you can make your own recipe. And actually, when you go to different cafes, you find that they have different recipes, because you reach there, they ask you, do you know how to make a milkshake? You'll be like, yes. But when you look at their menu, they have specific ingredients they add to their milkshake.
So does that mean that as any barista, it's important to learn that skill of record keeping or writing down, taking down things to the detail, so that you're always able to make that or to come up with that very same taste always?
Actually, that does not only apply to the barista side, because I believe each and every person has to be like keeping record. You should, if you discover something, write down. So the importance of writing down is to revisit and see. If I have to put ice cream and espresso and milk, maybe in a milkshake, that is, and maybe add some chocolate. So if I do that, those are the ingredients I have on the table. So I'm going to write down. Then I go get some other thing, maybe some other flavor. Maybe let's say I get a vanilla syrup or this blue curacao syrup. I add it and I see how is it going to taste. Are people going to like it? So I'm experimenting while I keep records. So after keeping the records, after experimenting, a lot of times I'm going to finalize with one thing. After a lot of research, I'm going to finalize with one thing which I think is going to be the best for each and every one. Yes.
You did speak about the different granule sizes when you are trying to break down those coffee beans. I would want to know, there are some people out there that are watching us that own blenders, and they are used to this whole thing of they just buy the beans and then they put them
They
into that
just
blender.
put them.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? Does it matter how long you crush those beans? How is it?
The grain sizes come about with something we call calibration. If you're using an instrument, let's say if I'm using a ruler, it's calibrated in centimeters. So if I'm taking a measurement, let's say from here to here, it's about maybe let's say 100 centimeters. So when you come to the grinder, it has,
Different
how
sizes.
do I call it? The rims, not the rims. I don't know how to term it, but
The
the
pores
equipment
through
that
which
that crash. So when you calibrate the grinder, when you're starting, actually the grind sizes we have, they're about 6. We have extra fine. Then from extra fine we go to fine, then we go to medium fine, medium coarse, then we go to coarse, and then extra coarse. So those are the 6 grind sizes. So when you're calibrating your grinder, if it is at extra fine, the process of calibration is going to enable me tell that it has reached at fine, because I put coffee as I grind. So after grinding, what will I do? I'm going to touch my coffee and feel,
it.
the texture. So when I feel the texture, I can tell this is grind fine. And the different equipments, they use different grind sizes. And the different equipments, the V60s, the Chemex, they are not very common in Uganda. So when you come to our academy, you go through that process of using the different equipments, because that is what is very common in the Arab countries, the V60s, the siphon. So we also teach you how to use those different coffee equipments to brew your coffee.
To our viewers out there, we want to thank you for always joining us for this session of the Uganda Parliamentary Coffee Forum. You always bless us by watching us, by encouraging us with your comments, to always keep on bringing you such kind of guests that try to take us through all around the industry of coffee. And before we come to an end, I would want you to always keep on sharing, subscribing. Let's invite other coffee lovers to join in the conversation, to share their thoughts in the comment section. Back to my guest here. Abaho, I would like to request you something. If you met someone in authority right now, and they are possibly in that docket of this very industry, what would you request them?
Now, authority, be specific about that.
Say, assuming you've met with the Minister of Agriculture and is alongside the Commissioner for coffee-related issues, what would you tell them?
Actually, that would be something to make, I think they should introduce the laws that were back then, but not like they were back then. Because back then, when you were found with green coffee beans, harvesting them, yes. So if you are found with them, that would be like a death sentence. So I'm not like, I'm not saying I would tell them to do that, but it should be like more strict, because that is affecting the quality of our coffee. So it would be basically to focus on the garden, okay, the part before the roasting. That is something I would focus on telling him, because that is what majorly affects the quality of the coffee in the cup, and even when it actually comes to the market. Because when you harvest a coffee bean when it is green, it's not going to taste good. It's not going to be a good quality. Because of the cupping process, it's going to score less on the cupping sheet. So that makes it a low quality coffee. So that would be something that I would focus on. Like, so my focus would be on the coffee farmers, not we.
As you share your parting shot, you did speak about your dream to see to it that you promote the consumption of coffee in Uganda. Do you have any plans of also acquiring some piece of land and at least acquiring some few coffee trees?
I think, but that thought has not yet crossed my mind. I'm majorly focused on business.
Business and the business of the cup.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Our viewers, we thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, please share, request some of your colleagues to check this out, and please share that feedback. It keeps us going and it helps us even get to know whom we should invite next on the show. It's been Emmanuel Biaruhanga. I would want to give my colleague to share just a few words with you just before we can say bye-bye. Yes, anything you'd want to leave with our viewers?
I think I've said a lot about coffee, and if you feel that's not enough, you could reach out to me. We discuss more, and actually, you should also promote coffee, because I see when someone has an event, they rush for Coca-Cola sodas, or yet we have coffee. If you have an event, I suggest people should be, actually the events would be a very good thing, like to promote the coffee, because if someone is served coffee, it's better than being served a soda, because there are very many things we don't know that are in the sodas, what. But the coffee, I believe it's very good for our health, and it should be very good to take something that is from our own land. We grow coffee. We